Station, everybody. Welcome to Supreme Clientele, episode 42 here, May 29th, 2024. Our weekly comic book breakdown show, doing the week's past new releases and the comics of yesteryear. But tonight we had to bring my boy Verno back. Verno, welcome. Thank you for coming back, bro. How are you? We're going to talk about X-Men 97. But Verno, how you doing? How you doing tonight, brother?
Stu, missing Link, my brothers. Good to be here. Stoked to be talking some X-Men. What's up? What's up, chat? How we doing?
Hell yeah. And of course, I'm joined by my co-host, Lynk. Lynk, how you doing tonight, brother?
Good, man. I'm ready for tonight. Some
Hell
good
yeah.
surprise. I'm jumping ahead, but I'm always excited to talk about X-Men. But the comics we'll get to Rook. We'll get to the Rook Exodus. I was surprised. That was really cool.
Hell yeah, man. Jason Fabok killing it over there on Ghost Machine. Say what up to the chat real quick before we get into our X-Men 97 season 1 retrospective real quick. E up in the building, Station E, what up? We got DJ Wise from, of course, Paul and the 619 and friends. Wise, what up, bro? Thank you for coming through. Dr. Plagas. That intro is never going to get old, man. Too fire. So fire. Ninja Station. Ninja in the building. Who else we got? Of course, we got the homie Phelps. Phelps, what up, bro? Thank you for coming through. Station, hope you're doing well. Chill. Appreciate you, Chill. Yeah, man. Intro is incredible. Shout out to Manny.
So nice. Sometimes you got to play it twice.
Hell yeah, absolutely. We'll play it again on the rollout. But what up to the chat? Thank you all for being here. I hope everybody's having a wonderful Wednesday and doing well out there in TV land. Yeah, so of course we had Vern on a few weeks back. I think, what were we at, Vern? Like episode 6 or so?
We had was it the one that was after the Gambit?
I know we had 5.
Spoiler alert.
We had 5 in the bag.
Gambit.
Yeah.
That was episode 5. So then it was the next one that had Life, Death, and the Jubilee and the Mojo verse one.
Yeah. So yeah, we had to, like, we were talking about it then. We had a great conversation then about where we're at and where we're going. But now that we're here at the after the finale, and man, it doesn't feel the same without this thing on Wednesday mornings. I was saying to Link last week or the week before, I went from I'll get to this thing on Thursday morning to I was watching it before I left for, like, I was waking up extra early, 6 o'clock, to watch this thing before I went to work on Wednesday morning. So, like, it was such a transcendental show, I feel like, for all of us who grew up with the original product. And I feel like it brought so many new fans. And it was just such a huge home run for Marvel Animation. I hope to see more projects out of them in the future because of this success. Eagerly anticipating season 2. Obviously, we got to wait a little while, but yeah, Vern, I'll start with you, man. Just overall thoughts now that we're here at the finish line. How do you feel? How was it?
Actually, can I just ask you? I love the shit out of all of it. Just because you guys have your fingers more, like, you guys have your ear closer to the ground of what's going on in the comic book world. Like, how was it received? Because my brother we were talking about it, like, oh, I hope this goes on. And it's hard to tell these days when things are streaming, like, how big are things, but like, you guys are in the know. Like, how did everybody love the shit out of it as much as we did? I assume.
I think so. Yeah, I think it was aces across the board.
Yeah. Sorry. I think that some people aren't aware of it, but I think everyone who loves comics, maybe like they're a common person might not, know about it, be aware of it. I'm sure they'd love it if they saw it, but I think, like, the general consensus has been, like, it's exceeded expectations in a lot of ways.
It's got to be, dude. You guys said the exact same thing, like, week to week. I've been trying to catch what you guys have been talking about episode to episode, and the strengths are the weakness. The only problem is it's too badass. Like, it was too badass, dude. They did too much, if anything, and they blew through a bunch of the biggest storylines, which is the same thing we said last time we talked about it. But I mean, if they give us like 2-3 more solid seasons out of this, the X-Men has a long enough history that I think maybe you can go at this pace. Maybe they've already mapped it out. But I mean, I thought, like, it peaked. I thought it probably peaked at when Gambit died. Not that, like, him being gone was what made it. That was my favorite episode, but there was major
For sure.
Yes.
highlights after it.
Back to
Obviously, the Fatal Attraction was it's the biggest thing. When I was doing the Cerebros comic show, like every guest I had on, usually I would be like, what got you into comics? More often than not, it was X-Men the animated series, and just as often as that, it was X-Men 25. It was Wolverine getting his fucking adamantium ripped out by
man.
It was like the comic moment of all of our childhood. Like most people that I know that are in the comic book game. So for them to do that and to do it in the way that they did, like it was just insane because I didn't even see it coming for a while. Like I knew that they were doing that, but there was so much other stuff going on. I just didn't think that they were going to go there at that moment. And then when they did, and they homaged it with the Jim Lee, or not Jim Lee, Kubert.
Kubert, yeah.
Yeah.
And they ended the episode on the good old like Wolverine Yarg. Like that was wild as hell, man.
It was crazy.
So good.
It was one of the best X-Men things ever done. But I loved so many moments from the last few. The biggest thing that sticks out to me for whatever reason is the moment, I think the episode prior to the one I was just talking about, with the Summers family together. And Cable and Jean and Scott and all the craziness going on, and the music. It was like so fire what they were doing with the music and playing on the theme. And then when they all came down and you guys know the moment I'm talking about?
Yes.
Like they're in a car and they're flying around, and the music was just crazy. And then they land, and it's like dun 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 dun. I was like, oh, goosebump, like wanted to cry a moment. It was insane, so good.
It was.
Yeah, it was badass. Everything's been incredible.
And they used their powers throughout the show is like so cool. Like, you know, whether it's Cyclops fucking using skydiving and using his optic blast to slow his descent, or the like you said, the Summers family vacation thing where they're like drilling through a fucking tunnel. You know, it's just everyone was using their powers in a very interesting way. Nightcrawler and Wolverine and their little square off with the Prime Sentinels or whatever. Like, bro, Jubilee even had a badass moment, bro. Jubilee, when she fucking did the 1-2 to Bastion and shit, man.
Yeah, you talk about like powers, and I feel like Rogue, man, in that final episode with like going at Bastion and like the thunderclap in his face, and like how she just went hard. That moment with Cap was one of my if your hands are tied, you won't be needing this. What a line! What a line! Like such a great line. And Vern, I know you there was what was that line between like Storm and Jean?
Jean
like,
says,
you quoted in the chat,
make them mind your weather and make them weather your mind.
Yeah,
like, oh my god,
so many like moments of poetry in this.
Does anybody Link, either of you guys, anybody in the chat, like I don't remember that ever being written in a comic book. Like I'm really curious, like if that line was taken from something, because if not, like comic book writers, they've been blowing an opportunity to pull that off for, like that's just like a miracle line,
man. And
so
like
good.
There's just so many great moments, so many little details. I thought like so many of the voice performances were incredible, but to me, the woman who played Storm, I thought was just next level. I thought she really the joint where she was going back and forth and kind of finding herself again with Adversary. And then there was that moment in the final episode where Jean came down as the Phoenix, and that laugh, just like the carefree nature of that laugh was like everything to me. Like I just love that moment. So I thought I just wanted to shout her out yet again. I think we did before, but man, she was my favorite, one of my favorite parts of this
dude.
Season.
I had remembered that again while I was doing the Cerebros that one of the cast members died, and I had got it mixed up who it was. One of the original voice actors. I didn't know that it was Cyclops. The Cyclops actor is not the original actor, and I had mentioned last time, to me his voice, I just assumed it was the same dude, because I'm like, that is one of the things that has been like holding it down, is like making the nostalgia all work. Storm and then Cyclops, but that dude's just doing like a spot on impersonation of the guy, which I don't know if you guys had a chance to watch that assembled, that making of thing that they did on Disney Plus, but they really go through all the voice actors one by one and tell the story of who's new, who's old, and it's really, really good. It's well worth the watch. If you guys are watching this right now, you should definitely check that out at some point on Disney Plus.
Absolutely. I didn't know they had put one together for this, so I definitely got to check that out. Let me go back to the chat real quick. We had a couple of people stop through. Sal, what up? Station brother, thank you for coming through. Once again, as always, good to see Sal. And we had Miss Christina Station. Hope you're well, ma'am. Good to see you. Yeah, all right. So there was a good. Hold on, let me find this little episode list. So besides 5, like, was there any other episodes that really, blew y'all's mind that stood apart? Besides the obvious attack on Genosha. I don't know. For me, Fatal Attraction is definitely like, because I wanted to, after we had Vern on, I kind of wanted to take it easy on like recapping every episode. But like when they did Fatal Attractions, I was like, God damn it. Like, we have to talk about this on the show. I can't not talk about this. So that one was definitely, like, obviously, like Vern just said. But
there was early on, I feel like episode 3. I mean, everything has been so good. That's the thing. Is like each one's been really good, but I can't really tell from looking at that, but I feel like episode 3 was heat. Oh, the Inferno one. That's what it was. The Madeline Pryor. That was a major highlight of the season. Like,
absolutely. And the scene with the executioner at the UN, and I think that was episode 2, was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do you guys agree? I mean, not that it's been bad, but they need to do Jubilee and Roberto Sunspot. They're still in play, right? As far as we know. But like, I feel like I didn't love what they did with them. It was cool and it was fine, but it wasn't like the strongest part of the season, and it could have been, because those are characters that I like, but it could be something that really pays off next year if they continue to develop their relationship.
Agreed. I think it'd be nice to see them continue that dynamic, especially now that he's defected with Magneto, and following that where it all goes. Also, he's like mega powerful too.
Yeah,
Sunspot's no joke.
That was a great moment for me when first of all, in that episode, the Fatal Attraction one, just Rogue wearing the outfit that she was wearing from the get-go, I was like, oh, well, she's gonna go bad, because that's her like origin story outfit from when she was a bad guy. But the moment that she joined Magneto with Sunspot, and just the trio of them, which is another thing, I'm like, dude, they look badass together. I can't wait to spend many adventures with that trio, but it's over. It was just like that moment. You know what I mean? Like, I would like to see that more developed, but whatever. It was still awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, it could be like, well, I don't know if trio wise, if it's gonna really tie in, but it could be like next season, Roberto and Rogue's outlooks approaching certain things could be more of like Magneto's way, a little bit more harsher, and that could put like conflict between Jubilee and Roberto. You always need conflict for a relationship.
Yeah, definitely. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it was so like, every episode was so packed. Like, you think about Mojo, and then I think about like the original series, and how like this was at least like a couple episode saga. You know what I mean? And here it's like a quarter of an episode, if that. And it's, I don't know. This it was cool and all. Like, I love this, and I love like the throwback to the X-Men arcade and all that. Like, but I don't know, man.
It was filler, but it was good filler. It was really good filler.
Yeah, but obviously Genosha, man, this was episode 5 was crazy. Seeing Cable come back, I love that moment. Was so, cut the music, turn the music off. You just knew, like, oh man. And then of course Gambit's moment.
I guess we can touch on this later, but well, man, I guess we kind of know. Did you guys take that foreshadowing at the end? I don't know how much that storyline I read, but like Apocalypse, spoiler alert, in the comics, he turn Gambit into one of his 4 horsemen? Is that where you guys read that final bit at the end where Apocalypse isn't it Apocalypse picking up a card?
Yeah, I got it here. Yeah, it's definitely he's got the queen. Yeah.
As soon as I was saying he's coming back as Death. I'm not gonna hold you up. I've seen too many bits and pieces of the storyline they're tinkering with, and the setup. I just knew that was good. And then they there's the episode where Xavier was with the Shi'ar, and he had like that little mental vision, I guess, and he sees like all of the graveyards and shit, and it's like it shows Gambit really tall, but his face is a skull. I was like,
Oh
yes.
yeah, 100%.
Definitely with the card at the end, that's sealed the deal. That he's coming back. It may be a red herring. It'd be a weird red herring because they put it on so strongly. But he might be some other horseman, that's not death. But I think it's gonna be maybe pestilence.
All right, so Link, who's your four horsemen of the apocalypse next season? Who you got? Because you said Wolverine and Gambit, right? Didn't you say Wolverine and Gambit to me at one point? You think Wolverine's definitely going to be one?
Well, just because Wolverine, or maybe they could go with that, and he could be War. I think that would be kind of cool. But Sal and I were chopping up an idea about that. He actually sent me this comic that shows us that it's like a what if that Wolverine's actually been War. I was shocked. I didn't know that. There was only death.
I've seen that image.
Oh, we just got like the red scarf and the sword and shit.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm here for that all day.
Caliban has been a horseman. He'd be like some rand. If they want to have like most of these horsemen are probably going to be like throwaway characters. Maybe Gambit will be the only tie for like the emotional thing. So maybe Caliban, he's been a horseman before in the comics. Maggot would be cool. Maggot, he's such, I don't want to say he's a throwaway character, but he's so unknown, and it'd kind of be a way to like expose a new audience to him, like make him cooler than what he was. And he did come out in like 97 as well. Since we're on it, why not Marrow from the Morlocks? Did Callisto die in the attack? No, Callisto didn't die.
I think so, didn't
but
she?
Maybe Marrow. I'm not sure. I thought she did. But maybe Marrow's pissed off, joins Apocalypse, and she's, Marrow's pretty underrated. She also joined the X-Men in 97 around shortly after during Operation Zero Tolerance. I really don't know though. Like you guys have been saying earlier, they pull from so much but change it at the same time. Like it's like anybody could be up for grabs as a horseman, honestly. And I'd be like, oh shit, Polaris. She was a horseman for a short period. And is she on that screen?
I'm not sure. Okay. I like E right here. Glob Herman, Dupe, Kitty Pryde, and Chamber. Weirdest top four ever. I love it though, bro. Let's just get weird with it. And I'm gonna give you. Give me a minute to think on that, and I'll get back to you. I want to give a proper one and not just
God. That's the thing, dude.
Over the top nonsense.
It's so hard. It would be so hard not to give some of you fill it up with big, huge household names because there's so many little mutants I love, but then there's the big ones. It's like, well, I mean, goddamn.
I feel like pack in one blockbuster name, and then you can keep it like one blockbuster, one mid guy, and then like you can go to two unknowns too.
Some unknown.
Right.
Yeah. You got to play it like fantasy.
Yeah.
All right. So who do you think squadding up next season with this forge board and all that? Like, what do you think this X-Men team is going to be? We got Havoc, obviously, Iceman.
I can tell you one thing I want to
Magic.
Who else? Hold on, I had to
together. What was that stuff?
Emma Frost and Iceman have a history together. That'd be kind of interesting. So,
I want to see
maybe to put like a flip on.
Okay. I was gonna say, like, I adore Emma. Like, I love Emma so much, and I really liked in the Dawn of X era, her and Kitty Pryde together. It was Kate Pryde, and I see Kitty on there. I don't remember. She was in the original series at one point, right? Like, did they do her origin? Like, I don't. That's part of the problem when I'm trying to think what I want to see next year. Is it's pretty foggy for me what happened like season 4 and 5 of the original run, like what they already did. But Emma and Kate would be cool together. And if assuming Wolverine is back on and we're in the regular timeline by like the 3rd season, I still want to see Wolverine and Bobby together. Like, you know what I mean? Because he's got that tight relationship with Jubilee. There would be tension there, and there'd be a cool dynamic. And what I really want to see will be fucking crazy if I get something crazy to happen? Like, what if Jubilee dies? Because like Wolverine is at best when someone he loves dies.
Yes.
And like we've seen him have love relationships. I don't necessarily need that, but for Jubilee to die, to have Wolverine go like full berserker, fucking crazy mode, like that would be the best motivation that I could think of. And that would be, I could, Jubilee could die. I could stand that, I think, and it would be impactful.
Yes, I'm here for
what
that.
if they Emma and Havoc together? So it's like a flip on that whole Emma's still with the Summers at the end of the day, even though it's never been something in the comics, but he's trying to fill in for his missing brother's shoes, Emma obviously always cares about mutants and the students. So.
Right. Isn't Exodus a Summers brother too? Or a Summers?
No, you're thinking of fucking, what is his name?
Vulcan. Vulcan. Yeah. I'm thinking of Vulcan. Yeah. All right. So all told, we got Iceman, Havoc, Exodus, Dust, Colossus, Shadowcat, Emma Frost, and Magic.
Magic for sure. I think it's popping
four men, 4 women. I mean, Dust is an interesting choice.
Yeah, she is, and she's the deepest cut on there, and she's a cool character. When did she come? Was that the Whedon run?
Morrison.
Okay, she was okay.
New X-Men.
Yeah, she was like one of those. Didn't she just appear like once or twice in one of those showdowns? And I forget. Like she was a member like of a brotherhood of like another type of group of evil mutants, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I think that he.
No, I know what you're talking about. It's when
or maybe I'm thinking
Eric posing as Zorn had like tried to recruit some students to his cause, and she was part of that, but she was like, oh shit, this isn't what I signed up for, and ended up helping the X-Men and shit like that. Even she was misled. She was misled when she realized what was going on. She's like, oh shit, no, this isn't what we were talking about. Help the X-Men.
Yeah, but I don't know. So what storylines do y'all think do you think they're gonna like go back and revisit some of these big arcs that they dabbled with some this season, or do you think they're gonna go? I don't know. Like we said, there's not a whole lot left when you talk about major X-Men events and arcs.
I mean,
there still is. Like, for sure. But I'm saying, dude, I would like to see I should have put together a comprehensive list of everything that we saw in this season. It's kind of staggering.
I would love to see, like I said, some nerd out there needs to diagram every story that's been done in the original seasons as well. Because I don't think they'll redo that stuff, which is kind of a bummer. Because I would be up for it, even though it's like sacred, you know what I mean? They're not going to remake that stuff, but it would be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Lynk, how about you? What do you got for next season, bro?
They pulled from. I was shocked to see the whole Wolverine 25. So that that they still pull from like a lot of 90s stuff, but in terms of them like coming back, revisiting stuff you said that they laid out earlier, there's that X-Men Second Coming arc, where Bastion was the focus. Like maybe Bastion's not completely done, or like a future version of him is coming back for revenge or something next season in some aspect.
He was great, by the way. Just like I didn't know, I never read that stuff. To me, it was like I was like an episode 2 deep with him, but I'm like, is he new? Like I didn't until I think I saw you post pictures of comics that he was in. The voice actor for him, he was phenomenal. He was so good, so subtle and creepy. Like that was a badass villain, and it was really high tech and high concept, and really, really a highlight.
He really was, and it was crazy, like how he was operating operating the Sentinels, even with Magneto's magnetic interference. Like I love how he was always a step ahead, and he was a piece of work, dude. Like Rogue gave him the business, and he got up and just like adjusted himself, brushed the dirt off, and was good to go, man. Kept evolving. Dude was a menace.
Hell yeah, man.
Anything else y'all wanna say on it before we
I want to. Hold on. I wrote some things down. Dude, there's things that I want them to do, but I want them to like take their time. Like, would you guys want this show to eventually tackle the Hickman era stuff? Like, I would, but I want that to be like their Thanos, like slowly build. That's why I say kill
Right.
Jubilee, kill Gambit, kill this person, that person, and then introduce the idea of mutant resurrection at one point. Bring them all back. Like, I would like them to slowly build up to that, to make that work somehow. Would be amazing.
I think there's
Yeah.
still a lot of elements left from these major arcs and storylines that they've already touched on. I'd like to see them maybe go back and like pull other elements or scenes or whatever from these major arcs and storylines and kind of like maybe tie some of together, like tie it together with season 1 and what they're doing in season 2. I don't know if like I would like to see kind of like more cohesion that way instead of like a whole bunch of new.
I'm with you. I
You know what I
think
mean?
Genosha should be their attack on New York as far as the MCU. The way the MCU keeps going back to that. And it's
Yes.
cool every time. Like
Mm.
they really, the attack on Genosha should reverberate for seasons to come.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking, like 4
So,
seasons from now.
Yes,
Like,
I'm down for like
build
4
up
seasons
to
from
that.
now. Absolutely.
To enough.
But dude,
where-
like the way we might get it in episode 2, the way
Right.
they're like there. They take a couple jabs. They get in, they get out, and like we're on to the next one. But
Another thing,
crazy.
just something I would fucking kill to see is if they 2 things quickly. I don't know if they've ever done it, but if they could somehow do a flashback and do giant size X-Men, which I feel like they maybe did.
Hell
They
yeah.
probably did it in the animated, but I would love to see that, and that would be a good way to get Krakoa introduced and everything, and just it'd be awesome. I would just love
Dude,
to see
if you
that.
just had like a single episode with like Nightcrawler / Storm's origin story, which to me is like 2 of the best, like that whole, like you said, giant size X-Men, dude, and like some of that writing that they did with Storm, man, is like just some of the best ever. I think those are 2 of the best origin stories in comics. I would love to see that and like broke down either in an episode or a couple scenes, or I don't know, something where it gives it due diligence. But yeah, man, that would be dope.
Hell yeah, and the Children of the Vault, as far as like a really high tech,
yes.
cool,
Let's
badass
go.
Children of the Vault would be the shit. And then you,
Let me get Phantom X too. Let me get Phantom X while
yes,
we're at it.
yes, dude,
Yes.
I would love to do a fucking. I have written down here. Give me Ryan Reynolds for an episode with a Deadpool cameo. Just give me a fucking one Deadpool episode at some point with him doing it. That would be badass.
I think that's one area where they could definitely expand and do some. Like people are dying for more cameos. Like as good. Like they had some in here, but I definitely think they could expand on that.
It's cool how they worked
Oh, no, go
Nightcrawler. It's cool how they worked Nightcrawler into the cast towards the end. You know how he didn't really start off, but towards the end he was part of the team. But Remeter's Uncanny X-Force, that's got a coolest shitload of ideas. Age of Apocalypse. There's been a few series that have toyed with it, like X-Men Evolution, Wolverine and the X-Men kind of flirted with it, but never really got to it. They could actually do this shit, bro. With I'm not. It's on Disney, so I don't know how dark it could be, but I don't know. I would love to see that.
I'm just glad you brought up Wolverine and the X-Men while we're talking about X-Men animated shows, because if this season's over and you're jonesing for more and you haven't seen that, that is the shit. It's very much like relying on like the Morrison era, Whedon era, right? It's like that era. It feels like Emma's on it.
Is that based on the Aaron run? The Jason Aaron run? Is it based on that?
No, it came out 2009, and I think Aaron did like Wolverine and the X-Men like 2011, 2012.
It's like
it was only one season.
Was it only one? Yeah, it's good though, man. It's good. It's dark. Xavier's dead. Cyclops is a fucking mess. Emma's kind of a big figure on the team. I think Kitty's on the team. It's good, and they look like that era, like
that sounds dope.
The Whedon run. I think they look like
it was kind of almost like a sequel to X-Men Evolution, like if those characters grew up or whatever. Because the same people who worked on it, Craig Kyle, Chris Yost, creators of X-23, they were like big spearheads for Wolverine and the X-Men. And I'm not sure. I know Craig Kyle had a lot to do with X-Men Evolution, but I'm not sure he was as like a he had as much of a say so as he did in Wolverine and the X-Men. But yeah, that one was really cool. I remember Cyclops in like the trench coat and shit. He was all broody and emo and shit.
Bitchy, yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I know you guys want to move on.
No, you're good, man. We're chilling. Go
two things I keep thinking about that you said. First of all, I was thinking about how I always defend Cyclops, my love for Cyclops, but it's really not him. It's the stories that he's involved in. He's not like my favorite character. Even like watching the season after I said that, it's like, yeah, I don't like love him as a guy, but they use him. Like if Cyclops at the center of a story, it's probably badass, especially like throughout the history of the guy. The other thing I keep thinking about is Gambit, and something you said, Stu. It's like Gambit's that guy that people that love him, and you ask him why do you love him, and you're like, like I can't tell you. I can't think of one fucking story that he was like, oh, that great Gambit story.
It's the animated. A lot of people point to the animated show, and I get that though. A lot of people that's their anchor.
He had cool moments, but like there is no comic that I really love. I mean, I did like when he was introduced. The Jim Lee stuff was badass, but you're totally right. Like I don't love any Gambit stories, and that's the other reason why it's like it's probably why it hasn't come to fruition that Gambit movie that they've been trying to make forever. It's because it's not really there.
Bro, Channing Tatum as Gambit is not. Nah, let's just not do that.
Yeah,
and I think there's I don't say that to not say like there's a great Gambit story out there to be written. Hopefully some kid sees episode 5 and like writes the best Gambit comic ever. But like yeah, definitely like another seminal, like he was so popular. Like it was funny because I was like looking at the 93 Wizard Marvel readers poll, and like besides Wolverine, that dude was like the bee's knees. Like everybody, he was that guy. Yeah, and it was like 93.
He was mysterious.
Yeah, and everybody was on Team Gambit. So like the popularity and the fan base is definitely there. I just think you got to tell the right story. And like I don't know, it seems like editorial has no faith in him. But
no. That was one of the things, like going through the whole Dawn of X when I was like coming back to comics and I'm, kind of new to X-Men again. I'm like waiting for that Gambit story. He was on somebody's team when they just
Excalibur, bro.
Yeah, he just sat there sucking ass the whole time. Teeny Howard just like, you just sit there. You shut up.
Oh man, Teeny Howard. Had to all right, so let me get to the chat real quick before Verno. If you got to bounce, I know you're on baby duty. If you got to bounce, by all means, I'm gonna get to the chat real quick on X-Men 97 before we move on to comics.
I'll wait for you to get through the chat. Once you move on, I'll dip.
All right. Let me get there. All right. So Bobby had an interesting Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse: the Juggernaut, O.G. Simpson, P. Diddy, and the Orange Skull.
Sold. Sign me up.
Same. Give me a mini series on that, Bobo. Who really is Scott's father as Shield? It just says Darth Vader. He said, considering they did Inferno in one episode, they might catch up to current times next season. Yeah, for sure, man. It could be. Very
true.
Seriously, yeah.
Sal said, I would like to see an Age Apocalypse arc. Same, bro. And
the
Generation X team. Yeah. Absolutely. You said Avengers vs. X-Men would be a dope thing to explore. Hell yeah. Now that's a good way to use some cameos. Good call, bro. Chill, I don't know, bro. The 90s had to come to an end. It had to come to an end sometime, bro. Y2K. We'll blame it on Y2K. This Jubilee hate.
That's not hate.
Is he a closet Jubilee fan?
You gotta kill your darlings, man. That would be impactful. It would be a gut punch, brave move.
Yes,
I
agreed. Bobo said, I don't like where Iron Man and Cap didn't jump into action. They just stood there. Yeah, Cap was a lame duck in this season. So said, I'd love an offshoot X-Force team. Oh yeah. He's back on Team Verno. Children of the Vault. Hell yeah.
That would be really cool, man.
It would. Hell yeah. I think that's about it.
All right. Well, I'll give you my top 4 on the way out.
Gambit is Zaddy material. We're not denying that at all, Anja.
No.
We're not denying that. All right, give me your top 4, Verno, and we'll let you down, bro.
There's no way I can't keep it real, and I have to say Wolverine, and I have to say Storm. I have to say those. And then these are still pretty big, but like top my mind, I have to say fucking Emma too. I just love Emma. There's something about her that's dope. And then I could probably go for a deeper cut, but I have to say Kitty Pryde too. I love Kitty Pryde. I love Emma. I love Storm. And there's no way I could look myself in the mirror and not put Wolverine as the top guy, because he's the top guy of all pop culture, maybe.
Dude, so. That might be the one team that can keep Wolvie in check.
Yeah, yeah,
you
right.
I mean?
All that estrogen keep him pinned down.
Love that.
Yeah, I don't think he's got any sexual tension with any of them either, so I think he'd be just fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah.
All right,
man. Thank you for joining us, bro. Y'all go. We're gonna be joining Verno tomorrow night, both Steph and I, for the 2-parter, Hostel 1 and 2. Man, I can't wait to get into it about those legendary films. 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 8:30 Central. We're kicking off. Make sure you check us out on Blood Splatter Chatter. Vern, anything else you want to say to the people?
No, that's it, man. It'd be right after PCP monthly comic show. So Robbie's coming over with these 2 beautiful gentlemen, and it is the kickoff to the big summer event that we got going on Blood Splatter Chatter, with banger after banger after banger of foreign film, 8 in 6 weeks. And I might, if fucking Godzilla -1 drops, which I think it's gonna, I think it might might drop on Prime any minute now. But that's the word I'm hearing. It could
a word,
and I have to see that movie, so we might squeeze that one in too, because it fits the bill and it would work. We might have to do that, but it's gonna be great, and I appreciate the shit out of all you guys in the chat. I love you all, and I'll see you.
Hell yeah!
Great, have a great
show. Quite a lineup for that summer, bro. Hell yeah, station.
Peace.
Hell yeah. Awesome. Appreciate you, Vern. Y'all make sure to go follow Blood Splatter Chatter. Turn on those notifications for our homie. All right, man. Let's get into our new comics, bro.
Ooh, check out this comic book.
Ooh, are these new?
Man, let's start with Ultimate Black Panther #4. Been loving this book. Just overall, it's a slow burn for sure, and we're gonna have a hell of a finale, but I've been loving this one. Link, just general thoughts on this one before we get into the covers and the issue. How you been feeling about this series?
I'm right there with you, my man. I was excited for it when it was coming out, but I really didn't know what to expect, But I think Brian Hill's done a great job in 4 issues. I think he's done some pretty solid world building, some interesting things happening. Feels very ultimate in a sense where it's like things are the same but not quite the same. Not to go, Peach's new X-Men is great, but that's such a flip on its head. It almost doesn't feel like it's property. But it's good that it's attracting new readers. But this feels like Spider-Man is a great book, but I wouldn't say like the Ultimate Universe was always like close, but just with a twist. Spider-Man's almost so crazy. It's not too far off from what it is, but long story short, I'm going on a rant. This feels very much like an OG Ultimate book, and I've been surprised by how much I've enjoyed it, and I really, really dig the whole no mouth. I know he can add the mouthpiece, but that whole look. I remember when they did that, it was like an Ultimate Avengers 2, that Lionsgate movie, the animated one. I don't know if you've ever remember that one? And I thought it was terrible looking, but they made it look really cool in this run. So shout out to them, Caselli, Stefano.
Hell yeah, absolutely. Station. Apologies to the chat for Mr. Anti-Idiotic. That's just ironic as hell. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. If you want to wrench again, the qualifications are you got to pay my car note for 1 month, if not 2. So go ahead, just jump in that line. Anybody just who's interested in that, hit me up after the show. I'll be happy to throw you that wrench. If you throw me that bill money. But again, I'm sorry for the ignorance. I will try to get to it. I thought I had done that last time. Apparently I didn't. So I'll try to be on top of it moving forward. Anyway, great Boss Logic variant here on the right. Dude, and I love like I don't know, I love all these variants here. I think
Ooh.
I think we've gotten a killer set like throughout this one. This one I feel like has been a little bit better. Like I've in terms of like this particular issue has been a little bit better for me in terms of like the last one. But I don't know, any of these stick out to you? You like any of these? How do you feel about the cover A stuff and the overlay? Do you like that? I'm not a big fan of the overlay. I gotta say,
I think it's too distracting.
It is. I don't like it.
You know what? It's crazy. What's wild is like the OG Ultimate covers had the borders on both sides, but I don't feel like I don't feel like they were so distracting. You would think with just one border it would be less distracting, but this I feel like is very not ugly, but it doesn't allow for the covers to pop. It takes away from a lot of them.
I agree. Like I like the purple font and all that, but I don't know. Just even with the Ultimate Spidey, I just don't like that. I don't like that.
Maybe slim it down. I don't know.
Like I just don't like how you're taking that white bar is taking up like a good quarter of the front cover. You know what I mean? And you already have the white border around it, which is already kind of shrinking the artwork. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
I would slim it down and maybe because they want to put the title in the banner, and I get that, but I would maybe just put like maybe slim down the little white bar just a little bit and have the ultimate icon in it, you know, and have the title on the across the top like most comics or something like that, you know, or like have artists play with the title. But yeah, they need to slim that banner down. It's not attractive.
Yeah, but these variants get all the love as far as like these nice little convenient titlings and banners. All right, I don't want to get. I want to shout out these artists.
Exactly.
We got Raza. We got Raza here on the left, dude. Does Raza ever miss? Jeez. And on the right, I want to get this guy's name right. I haven't heard of this. Doaly, Doaly. I've never heard of that gentleman before.
I like it though. That might be my favorite one because I like the colors, the color usage she's got going on.
I like the pastels, the purples, and the pinks. And all right, dude. I love this issue because it goes back, it hits back to home for me. Where like why I really love this comic is because of Queen Okoye and like the importance and like the character and the integrity that Brian Hill has given her throughout this story. And we open up with her basically like holding things down at home, addressing the civilian population of Wakanda, assuring them that she's heard from their king, which she hasn't, you know, and that you know, they need to put faith in him and basically in the state and, you know, in the kingdom moving forward. And, you know, she's there doing the Lord's work. I'd love here after she's visited by Shuri, who, you know, basically you lied to them, you know, and she's, you know, she talks about how I gave them faith, I gave them hope.
Yo, can I
go ahead.
Just to riff on what you're saying about Okoye, because I found myself I was like, man, Okoye's pretty damn cool. You know, I've really grown to like her, and I you know, to hear you say that, I think it's cool that there's something there that because I was really, you know, the whole her position with it's like, you know, she's like supposed to be queen, but it's like T'Challa's supposed to be her now as her partner, she's like part of the Dora Milaje, and it's like he still keeps her doesn't keep her in the know for everything when she's shown nothing but loyalty. So it's like frustrating because he's off doing whatever, and she, you know, and she's holding the fort down, you know, and it's just kind of expected of her, you know, and she's just the balancing act she does, you know, she's a very endearing character in this comic.
Yeah, and we hadn't heard from her in a minute. You know, it's kind of been focused on T'Challa and his quest with Killmonger and Storm and the things he's finding out about Ra and Khonshu and their plans and stuff like that. So I like how this issue 4 came back and started with her, and really she was, you know, the guiding force through this issue.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, here, Shuri telling her she needs rest, because tomorrow more faith will be needed. She understands the burden she has to carry right now, and she has to put on that game face and kind of lead the way for Wakanda. But I just love that, Shuri's kind of like not egging her, not begging her to walk a different path, but a little bit, I guess, more impatient and kind of like, not seeing the whole picture, I guess, with her. But like, I feel like, I just love like her balance and her patience. She just, not that Shuri, I'm not trying to say Shuri comes off as disrespectful or short at all here. She definitely understands where Okoye is coming from, but I just love how Okoye comes from a place of patience and wisdom more so, and you definitely feel that and the push and pull in their conversation. Anyway, she leaves Okoye to go sleep, and as she's sleeping, a drop of sweat hits her on the face. And she's got an assassin in her bedroom, dude. Oh wait, I thought.
Question. All right, I won't go, not to get too far ahead, but did you think this assassin was a particular character when you first saw them?
Not really, man. I don't know. It kind of gave me like Taskmaster vibes a little bit, but like it didn't point me to, like, I can't say it pointed me to one individual in particular. How about you?
I was kind of thinking it might be like Moon Knight, or like maybe in this universe, their assassins, Khonshu, Ra's assassins or their servants are Moon Knights. Maybe there's more than one Moon Knight or something like that. I was thinking, but that that I don't think that's the case. We'll see though. There was an interesting turn with that whole attacker.
Absolutely, yeah. The hoodie, the sword, and like the kind of like dark disposition on the face. I couldn't tell if it was a skull mask or whatever, so I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know if the ultimate dude. I'm here for Ultimate Universe Taskmaster though. Show me what that looks like.
Oh yeah.
As long as it doesn't look like anything like MCU Taskmaster. I'm sorry, fans of Black Widow, if you're out there. But don't do that. Don't do that to me again. Yeah, dude. And then I love how Shuri, like, Okoye deftly dodges this assassin's leap. My apologies. I thought I had these slides in here. And as she's exchanging, as she's kind of like moving and exchanging blows or defending herself from this assassin, she notices that, or I don't know if it's here or later on, that she's Dora Milaje, right? She's ex-Dora.
Oh no, it was coming up. It's coming up.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, Shuri's there to defend her. Yeah. And so Shuri drops down.
That was a dope panel.
Yeah, Shuri dropping down. Hell yeah, dude. Shuri's crazy with it. And Shuri doesn't have any suit on or anything. Like, it's just good old superhero landing. Yeah, Shuri tracks the blood. And this character is, she finds out, like we just said, like, she's definitely not down for the count, and she's ex-Dora Milaje. So, like, Shuri's got her hands full. And she's beaten. She basically gets beaten down to the point where this character's over here. She's got the sword back, raising it up to bring down the final blow, and she's struck from behind. We get T'Challa showing up. Great.
Of course.
We get the great suit like we talked about, like how you can kind of see the teeth in it. Dude, looking like a straight boss. Apologies. I wish I had. He says something super cool too. About defending Wakanda. I wish I had a bit of text.
I like how he took off that little his suit, bro. That suit is really growing on me. But like how he took off the little chip off his. Yeah.
Yeah, he looks great. To me, like Ultimate Spider-Man looks the same. We don't really have a new look for that, but like, dude, I love the look on, like how it's something different, but it's something the same at the same time. You know what I mean? But I love, like when it's all put on him and the look on his face. I love how it's kind of like extremist and the way it kind of acts with him. It's kind of like part of his body. You know what I mean? Like he can just like turn it on. That's sick. But I love that design Caselli gave him. Hell yeah, bro. Caselli's done his thing though. I feel like on all these character designs here, more so than I feel like that. I don't know. Not that I don't like what Chichetto has done on Ultimate Spidey, but like the Green Goblin's cool, but it doesn't like it's nothing like
No, I agree with
earth
you.
shattering to me. You know what I mean? And like the Spidey's just kind of
Bro,
the same. I kind of wish the
Bullseye,
Spidey was different in some aspect. The Bullseye was like a Gambit.
Bullseye and Green
Weird.
Goblin got like that. They got like the same facial design, like a slit for eyes, but a mouthpiece. You know, no mouth. It's just a helmet. You know, so I definitely think Caselli is doing a little better job at making the characters in this book more distinct looking.
Yeah, I
Not
think
to say,
that's
like you said, Shadow's doing great work.
no, but I think that's a gift you either have or you don't. And I'm curious to see. Like, I thought, like, I'm not trying to talk down on it, but I just thought like the decision to have that Bullseye character be throwing trading cards a la Gambit was really like just I don't know. I felt like that was not original at all, and that was kind of surprising
Different.
that they went in that direction. You know what I mean? Like I thought with Bullseye and like accuracy, there's so many different cool things you can do. Like I don't mean to bring him up every time I talk about Bullseye, but Colin Farrell in the movie, bro. Like we're talking about paper clips. We're talking about like it was corny, like him licking his eyebrows and all that after it, but it was still cool. Like you know, the dart game at the bar.
John,
like, of course, he's gonna win the dart game in a murderous fashion, but like I don't know. There's so many different things you can do with accuracy and pinpoint control. Like
John Wick was killing people with a pencil. Like Bullseye could carry on small little thin blades or something like that, you know, like in a satchels or something. Those would be way more effective than fucking trading cards, you know,
or playing cards.
not
Yeah,
trading
exactly.
Cards,
Playing cards. Yeah, sorry, I misspoke. Yeah, but I mean, for sure.
No.
That just struck me as weird, and like you said, it wasn't very different from like the original, you know, iteration of Bullseye. So I don't know. I love these
just a helmet
designs. Yeah, she was Dora Milaje. Spoke of Khonshu. So like, and you know, and Panther's like the Voodoo Khan will search her mind and get us the truth, and then she kind of just like explodes with this moonlight and turns into like a dust, pretty much. I don't know how else would you describe that, right? Like it seemed like like they had like a you know, some type of timer, like they were obviously monitoring her afar, and they're not going to leave any witnesses. Rogue, what up, Station? Thank you for coming through. Always good to see the homie Rogue. But yeah, I don't know. What did you think of this? And like, you know, we learn about these plans and that one of them might be underestimating T'Challa and that might be his downfall. What do you think about like the Moon Knight and the Ra thing in this? Like, is it working for you as villains? I could use a little bit more like, who are these guys and what is going on? Yeah, because we don't have very many. Let me see how many episodes or issues we have left. Pardon. So we have 7 on the books right now.
Okay.
So
I'm glad to
so maybe we could, yeah, absolutely. I'm curious as to like how many it's going to be in total, though. 7 would be an odd number to stop at, right?
That's like a trade though. You know, if they're writing for a trade, that'd be. I mean, I don't think they're gonna I think they're gonna continue the story, but maybe like 7 before they take a small break or something, so Caselli could gear up, and maybe they have like a fill-in artist after Caselli's taking a break. I hope they would. This isn't a story wrapping up after 7 issues. That would suck. I've really been enjoying this. But
no, it looks like Caselli's the artist on 7, bro. So I don't think he's going anywhere.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Shit.
Hell yeah.
We don't need another fill-in like Chichetto. Or how Chichetto had.
Oh wait, I take that back.
But I think
we got a different artist on issue 6. My bad. I spoke too soon.
Who?
Carlos Nieto. Nieto. I've never heard of that guy before. Have you? Let me click on his name and see what else he's got. He's only got a handful of titles. Ghost Rider, Boogeyman with a Blaze. He did a cover for Star Wars, Darth Maul, Black. So very, very new to the Marvel. At least to the Marvel.
So this is Marvel twinkling in the bullshit. Because you know they give us the first arc with the knockout artist, bro, and then and before we know it, we've got an artist nobody's ever heard of. David Messina, I think I've heard of him before, but I can't put, what book I've seen his name on. He's not like a standout artist to me. So, I wish they would at least don't make it so drastic. You go from like Caselli to someone we've never heard of, Chichetto to someone we've never heard of. Ultimate
So we got
University,
him
top of the line.
Yeah, we got him on 5 and 6. So the next 2 issues we got Nieto, and then we got Caselli back on 7. That is disheartening to find out. Yikes. But, we'll get through it together, right? Marvel fans. That's how they, like, the old okie doke is what we're used to. Hey, it's, come over here for 3 issues. It's, you're gonna strike gold, I promise. Then, hey, it's issue 4. What's going on? Here's Carlos Nieto. What? Okay,
it's the same. I mean, I haven't seen his work, so it could be really
and
dope,
I don't want to talk
I
down
just
on
find
dude.
it.
Yeah, but it's like Stefano Caselli is Stefano Caselli, man. Like, dude is legit.
Yeah.
An established OG, and unless it's like. To me, the only successful example I can think of an artist switch lately is Corona and Daniel Warren Johnson on Transformers. That's really the only one that really sung to me where it didn't really miss a beat. It kept with that general aesthetic of what they wanted to pull off, and they really didn't miss a step. Like, besides that, I when they do this type of shit, dude, Incredible Hulk completely lost me because of this practice. Completely going to people like Travel Foreman, from Nick Klein to Travel Foreman, both great artists in their own respect, but those styles are not complementary whatsoever. It was jarring, man, and they kept doing it to us. So.
And if you're gonna, sometimes like the book can't benefit from that if it's a particular story, like if say had they done like a Del Mundo issue on the Nick Klein, but it's because he's in like a fantasy world, he's having like a fantasy dream. It fits the concept of the story, since Del Mundo's artwork is very colorful and fantasy-esque. But when you're just picking someone out, at least try to make their art fit what you've established. Like when it was interesting that Free Comic Book Day Blood Hunt had Sarah Pichelli and David Marquez on as the artists, but that made me think of like when Miles came out on Ultimate New Spider-Man, and Sarah Pichelli was the artist at first, but then she left and David Marquez took over. And he's developed his own distinct style since then, but he was like a Sarah Pichelli light at the time. And it was like, it wasn't exactly Sarah Pichelli, but he fit the visual model. So it wasn't like you're like, oh my God, who is this guy? He was something someone that complemented her style. So you didn't mind when David Marquez came on to fill in for Pichelli. That's all I ask, just to make it feel visually cohesive. Like even you were saying, that takes you out of the story, like Travel Foreman, wonderful fucking artist. Nick Klein, wonderful fucking artist, but their styles clash, so that I agree with you. Like, just have some visual cohesiveness.
Yeah, just think about it. Like, don't make decisions based on the pocketbook. Like, I know you have to inevitably, but like, I don't know, try to put a little input to the art behind it. You know what I mean? Like, you can keep a lot of readers that way. Sheila asks, what would we have done in that position? I think books, if they're good enough, people will wait for the artist to get the work done. You look at books like Human Target, like they had to take a break for a good 4 or 5 months, and people were willing to wait for that book. I'm willing to wait for this book for Caselli to do the artwork right. If it's nothing like, I think his work has been excellent here, and I think he deserves the right to finish it. I don't think that Marvel has enough faith to give a book like Ultimate Black Panther the hiatus, the green light for hiatus to go, oh yeah, we'll come back to that in 4 or 5 months when Caselli has got the next 3-4 issues done. No, they want artwork and they want deadlines now, and they probably got this guy for dirt cheap. Honestly, he's got 4 or 5 titles under his belt from League of Comic Geeks, which they're a pretty comprehensive resource. So he hasn't done a ton in the game, so they probably got a good price for his services, and they're going to ride out with him. But
I think that from the jump, they should have had like 2 artists for each book for the monthly titles like Black Panther and Spider-Man. Peach seems to have a handle on her stuff, but so far we'll see. We're still early into it, but so it's like rotating. When Caselli was off, we already know this next person is handling the next arc, and obviously find someone whose styles kind of fit each other and don't clash too much. But I think that kind of should, or at least have like, I don't know, you have someone in mind. It just seems like like you said, they're just kind of picking someone based off the pay rate, like, oh, this guy's quick. He can get the job done at a reasonable pay rate. Like, have him do it. I don't know. Once again, I haven't seen the guy's work, so I'm trying not to get too hyped about it. But it seems like Marvel's. I mean, I'm not surprised. Marvel is always on some sort of bullshit sometimes, but
Yeah,
it's starting to trickle too early. The Ultimate Universe means too much to me. Don't make this. Do this right. But
for
yeah,
sure.
I would
And
have
it's
had like a solid fill-in artist.
and it's the ultimate book, so I'm sure he said this just problem presumably is that they already got an artist working on the ultimate crossover event, and they need this. These all need to stay on schedule. Yeah,
True.
so we get fill-ins that can dampen the experience. Exactly, bro. Well said. And I think like there's things you can do. One thing I like that Jason Aaron's doing a lot now is using different artists for flashback sequences or telling, half of the book in flashback. He did that on Once Upon a Time in the World, Once Upon a Time at the End of the World. He's doing that on, I think the Turtles books or something like that. He did that on Punisher with Paul Azaceta and Jesus Saez, and it really worked. It worked out well, and I think that's a good way to give your artists room to breathe, where they don't feel like the whole issue is on their backs. This guy is going to have 2 pages here, 3 pages there. Yeah, there's things you can do, but it shouldn't be all on the writers to make sure books on time. They're trying to get the the best story down on paper that they can, and it sucks that they have to fall victim to these unfortunate switch ups as well. But I don't know. I think there's things that can be done from writer's standpoint, from artist standpoint, from editorial standpoint to avoid these circumstances. I don't think we always have to rush in and have these first 3 or 4 issues with these top-notch artists and then suffer a lack in quality for the next 2 or 3 arcs.
I really want to figure out what's the process for a monthly comic, like, because when they announced this, we've known that Chichetto and Hickman were doing Spider-Man for a while, so it's like, how long, or how many issues did Chichetto have in the can before they launched issue 1? Like, I would at least let these artists have like 4 to 5 issues done before.
Or the first arc, like we haven't got to the end of either of these arcs, and we already have different artists on these issues. You know what I mean? And it already feels like not with Ultimate Black Panther, but that Ultimate Spidey issue felt like a fill-in issue kind of in a lot of ways with that dinner conversation dealio between. You know what I mean? Like that was weird. So I don't know. We're getting way off topic, but pardon us, y'all. I feel like it's a relevant concern, especially for readers of these Marvel books, man. They keep doing this to us. And I feel like even DC tries to do a better job. I remember back when I was reading Nightwing on a every month basis, and Bruno Redondo would take breaks. They would try to get a guy in there who would be similar to that style. And I know as an artist, you don't want to be the guy who's similar to Bruno Redondo, so you're getting that work. You know what I mean? You want to be known on your own merit. I get that struggle, but at the same time, a gig's a gig, man. So I don't know. Back to Okoye. Giving T'Challa the business right here, right? After, saving Shuri and finally coming back home. You are the king, and the king will do as he wants, but you are my husband, and I deserve to know if you are dead or alive. I just love how, she tells him off and, stands her ground there. T'Challa's trying to break it down to her, though. Our knowledge of the world is, just shadows on the wall. I have seen the light that creates them, or that casts them. And he instructs her basically to come down. Don't tell anybody. Come down to this. Come down to, I get, what is it, like the Temple of the Dead or whatever, by yourself, and there he introduces Killmonger and Storm, and of course Shuri.
Squad.
Circle of Force, I think he calls it. But yeah, so these are the ones that are gonna, lead the revolution, affect change in Wakanda, and turn the tide against Ra and Khonshu. And they know, I guess, obviously this power source has to, all right, let me ask you this, bro. What do you think the power source that we saw it last issue, Storm brought him down into the tunnels, that giant glowing blue ball. What do you think that power source is? And how do you think it's going to play into the Ultimate Universe? I'm going to let you handle this real quick. I got to go. Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back.
Okay. Oh, that's a good question. I truthfully don't know. I was gonna say like the Tesseract or something, but I think they already showed that Reed or Ultimate Doom was working on that in the lab. Was that in the Ultimate Invasion? I think it was. But I think it got, oh no, was that Iron Lad? No, that was Ultimate Doom that was working with that, because the Hickman, or no, the Maker had recruited him to work on that or something. I truthfully don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think, chat? Would it help if I pull up the comments? The Enigma Force, I like that. I like where it's at. Chill.
Ew.
I mean, I wouldn't say the party issue was necessarily filler-y, but just visually, it was very boring. Yeah, it was a cool what's the word I'm looking for? Character moments, but visually it was super boring. It was just kind of like face shot, I don't know. It could have been a little bit did you guys ever read the Tom King Date Night issue with like Lois Lane, Superman, Batman, and
all right, I love that.
Great.
I love that issue. What the hell was that? Yeah. What the hell was wrong with that issue? Why did everybody hate that thing?
I don't know. That I thought that was a great example of a issue. This one, the Spider one, just visually, I don't think it was filler, but visually, I think it was filler. If that makes sense.
No, I feel you.
But no, just the Enigma Force. I'll go with that. I truthfully don't know what that blue light could be.
Yeah, I don't know. It's curious. And I wonder what T'Challa is seeing to, make him question the foundations of his reality. But be interesting to see what happens moving forward. Unfortunate that we don't have Caselli back to issue 7, but it is what it is. Chill said, "Is Enigma forced to tie everything together because of Marvel? Everything got to connect for some reason." Yeah, well, yes and no. All right, so staying on to Marvel and lukewarm reactions. Blood Hunt #2 dropped. I think I only have 14 slides for this one, man. This one was okay to me. This is kind of like, it was a quick issue,
bro,
and I'm not really, this event is really not doing it for me so far. I don't know if I was going to have a conversation with you after the show if you wanted to continue with it, but like, I don't know. I think Pepe Larraz is doing some great work. I think there's some great pieces of like just art here, especially at the end with Miles kind of turning. But dude, I just don't like going on. I guess it's because like of my Blade, I'm jaded from the Blade series and how that all ended up, and like we're here now, and I'm supposed to believe he's like this badass, like, it was just like, what, like, speaking of continuity, Chill, like it does not bode well for them. But I don't know. We're two issues in. I feel like I'm going to be much more attracted to DC's Absolute Power event and like how that goes down. That seems much more interesting to me. I'm already kind of getting invested in that House of Brainiac thing they got going on with Superman. I think they're doing a good job over there, man, with their events. I feel like it's a lot more cohesive and
thought out.
Yeah, if not thought out, like some of it seems thought out because they had. I don't know if you remember DC releasing that map at the beginning of the year of where everything was going to go. Do you remember that? And like you could only see parts of it. You couldn't see like the end of it, and like there are parts of that like have come true and parts that haven't. I feel like, and parts that were a bigger deal than we thought they were, and vice versa. But at the same time, I feel like there's a lot more, like you said, like cohesive storytelling and. They're letting Josh Williamson kind of do the House of Brainiac thing on Action Comics and Superman right now, and it's working, at least in my opinion, a lot better than this is. But I just feel like Jed's been their guy, and they're putting too much on his plate right now, and we don't know what's going on.
Bro, from my experience, I've only really read. I dipped out of his Avengers 2 very quickly. I remember being excited about it, and it was not the first 3 issues. I was like, this is not it. So I dipped. I'm not going to hold you up. He does better when he's writing singular characters or more solo focused books from what I've read of his work. He's a quippy, right? He's got, see, that's the thing. It's like he is, some of the shit just does not translate. It's not bad. He's not bad, but it's like there was a certain scene in here it was just like, oh, bro, you're trying to be Bendis too much right now. Just dial it back, like, yeah, I don't know. Everyone kind of speaks the same. I haven't really, I don't want to say I don't like it. Pepe Larraz is putting out some fantastic work. The story is just kind of happening, I don't.
It feels like a second edition of his Avengers book. We have this like, all right, let's get into it. We have this, first of all, great covers, of course. For the most part,
beautiful.
The Fangs ones are okay by David Baldion or whatever. The Dracula one, I think he had a Blade one last issue. But dude, that EM Gist on the left there, that Black Panther, fire, so good. That's my favorite. Peach did a good job with the Scarlet Witch. That's a pretty fire Peach cover. Gabriel Dell'Otto with the connecting variants. Those are going to be sick all put together. And of course, Cale New is always putting together crazy dope covers. So shout out to all the variant artists, all doing their thing. But I don't know. We start off in the Impossible City. They turn Panther. He's going to be Blade Soldier.
What really bothers me about this is that they're trying to play it off like Blade's just turn evil. Blade's clearly possessed by something, bro, and it's not Blade right now. But I mean, that's what I feel. Maybe that's not how it's going to play out. But there was a line of dialogue in here that made me think like, oh, we'll get to it.
Was it like, are you gonna like overrule the Lord of Vampires, the will of the Lord of Vampires, or some shit like that? I don't know. When he's talking to T'Challa,
when they're having a battle.
No, this was just like at the beginning.
It's kind of towards the end or in the middle.
Okay, but I love. All right, let me know when you see it, bro. I love Bloodline's appearance. Oh. Did you like seeing her? Yes. It was pretty badass. It's curious. Yeah. Obviously, he wants.
I think. See that.
Go ahead.
Oh, I think my bad. I think I'm on a slight delay.
No, you're good, bro.
I think it's cool that Bloodline's a newer character, so it's like this is a series that's gonna get a lot more eyes on her as a character. So I think that's a smart move. Like events should always kind of get eyes on newer characters or that people might not be willing to give a chance on. She's badass. I've been. What's crazy is that Marvel's had this idea for Bloodline for at least 10 years. I remember back in 2015, after Secret Wars, Tim Seeley was actually supposed to do a series focusing on Blade's daughter. They didn't really show any designs. They just said it was going to be a series focusing on Blade's daughter. nothing ever kind of came of that. There's a few. It's too deep to get into of why it didn't really come to fruition. Not exactly the right writer to be writing a young teenage girl of ethnicity. But I always thought that it'd be cool because I was like, Marvel, people love Buffy the Vampire Slayer, right? That's got such a solid fan base. That's you have an in-house version of Buffy the Vampire Slayer right there. It's like they could make a little show out of it. You could have a little Bloodline show on Disney Plus. Let's not go too far, too soon, but just a little horror Buffy the Vampire Slayer show on Disney Plus. There's a lot of cool ideas you can do with Bloodline character. So it was cool to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And she looks great. I just love the look of her. The short purple hair, like the skirt with the leather jacket and like the punk look. I don't know. She's badass, dude. Like you said. And she's rolling around with Drac, right? Her and Dracula are homies, and they're kind of like getting through this mess together. I thought that was dope. A dope pair up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Almost like a Doom and Valeria. Not per se, but it's like,
yeah.
Valeria, my bad.
It's
how that's Reed's arch enemy or nemesis in a lot of ways, but she's learned a lot from Doom. I feel like she's gonna learn her bond with Dracula over the course of this. Maybe be the one to have to take out her own father. Who knows? That'd be interesting if by the end of the series she's got to be the one to take out Blade, but she fills his spot. Like she's the new Bloodline, the vampire hunter. Instead of Blade. Blade will be back eventually. But yeah.
Yeah, that'd be dope. I heard that movie is in jeopardy again. I think it's just a matter of time before Ali drops out. Yeah, I think they switched like writers or directors or something again, dude. They have like a script, but they still need help, and I don't know, man. I feel like that one's done. My boy texted me and he was like, my boy Des was like, how hard is it to make a Blade movie? Like, really?
Right?
You got established success.
Bro.
You got a great actor in Mashar Ali. Like, just make it happen, man. But yeah.
Fucking
anyway.
Man.
Yeah, we get they go visit the Sanctum Sanctorum, and they find Doc Strange, or what's left of him. Great little
he's just chilling in his astro form.
Right. He greets him in his astro form, obviously, because he's split all the way up in his corporeal form, as he would put it. But yeah, dude, this is the lame part. Like, so this is why I said in the group chat, this felt like the best Avengers comic yet, because like this felt like the plot to his Avengers so far. Like, we get this mysterious team of supervillains that like at first are, beat the Avengers black and blue, but then the Avengers come back and give them the business. And this felt like exactly that. The Blood Coven whooped their ass the last issue, and now they're back to, and we get some cool scenes.
Wow,
here.
You know what?
I thought Vision was a particular star for me. I really liked how he got down.
Oh yeah,
the phasing and using the sunlight, right? Like when Vision's on his shit, bro, I'm with it. Like, because he's a straight menace. People forget like how big of a problem he is when he wants to be. I don't know. Did you have any?
Yo, I didn't realize.
You have any favorite moments from the fight, bro?
Definitely the Vision. I thought how he just fucking ripped through the dark forest cloud and just evaporated the vampire dude was pretty dope. But no, I want to say I didn't realize what a copy and paste this issue 1, issue 2 was from McKay's opening Avengers arc. Like you said, mysterious team of people beat the Avengers ass. It's Jesus. Damn it, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
But damn.
And it's like
definitely Vision, bro.
The line don't even work. Like what's the corny line Carol has when we're here to avenge them or something? We do the avenging, or it was just like, man, that's not a word you can just drop like all badass like all the time. You know what I mean? Like that's just it's kind of like an awkward
You know
word
what?
to use.
No,
It's just
yeah.
like
You know what threw
and
me off
drop it
was
down to random.
when Miles first linked up with Tigra and Hunter's Moon, and it's like the gravity of the situation is like people are fucking being ripped apart in the streets, and it's like they're making jokes walking down the street trying to find Sanctum Sanctorum. Like, well, I can never find this. I don't know. It's just the how dark this story is or should be. I don't know. Not, and I know it's a superhero comic book, but they've gone dark before. We read Blackest Night. Like, you can go dark. Like, I don't know. Just some of the banter does not fit tonally for what's going on in the book.
Yeah, and this is the Red Band edition.
Uh,
Like, give me a break, man.
Yeah.
What do we
That's
besides that image?
With
Like, have y'all ever read a Garth Ennis comic? Like, what? That is, it's a joke. It's laughable, man. Like, give me a break. I don't know. I loved my favorite image was the image at the end with Miles. Great art. I'd love to own that original art. That would be killer. He did his thing there. He did. We got
the
Rude
art is
now.
fucking phenomenal.
Rude Station, bro. Hope you're well.
Station.
Thank you for coming through, brother. Yeah, the art, like, Pepe is doing his thing. I'm not trying to hate on that man. Like, you know, but at the same time, like, I don't know. This one ain't doing it for me. Anyway, let's get to the goodness. Do you want to start with we got two left, bro. Do you want to do Void or Rook first? We got Rook in 1 and 2.
Let's
to
do
so you want to do let's do Void. Yeah, hell yeah. All right. So Void Rivals number 9. We've covered so many issues of this great Energon Universe series. Kind of like the
Have we covered every issue?
I feel like we have, bro. I was thinking about that when I was putting the slides together. Like, if not every issue, damn near.
Damn near.
And I know some people are on the fence about this. Nick, I love you out there, brother. I know Nick hates it every time I hear Nick's like
Really?
like 2 things happen and then the issue's over. And I don't understand any of this Transformers stuff. Like, and I feel it, like, because some of the Transformers stuff is definitely over my head. I got to go do research afterwards. Like, I definitely feel them there. But I love this one just because it feels like the most from the ground up of all these books. All these other books are relying on old IPs and characters and stuff like this. This one is a new original story. I love how it, you know, decides when it wants to interact with the rest of the Energon universe. And it's been great so far, man. I'm very curious to see, like, you know, how I think Kirkman's a master of building out those long sequential storylines. Like, you look like Invincible and Walking Dead, man. The dude can craft a great story over a very long period of time. So I think that's going to be like one of these. I think this one could really go the distance. Much more like, you know, you see these Destros and Dukes and Cobra Commanders going 5 issues, and then kind of, I think Void I could be one of those, like, marathon titles for them if they wanted it to be, you know, because they could pull all elements, any element, or, you know, they can pick and choose whatever element they want to put into this book, but they also have their own original world that they're building. So I think the trade-off is awesome and unique in that aspect.
Do we know for sure when this takes place? Like, is this in the future of, like, the Transformers book, or is it, like, in the past?
That's a good question, bro. Like, I don't know, because we had that interaction. I don't know, early on with the Transformer in the first couple of issues, but I don't know. That's a good question. Like, but I think we're bound to find out sooner or later.
But no, I agree. If it's, I was hoping it takes place more in the future, because if that's the case, it's less tied. It can kind of, like you said, it's already doing a great job with the world building. It can kind of take cool bits of the Energon universe and do crazy shit with them. And you can't say that that's not, people can't get mad about it, because at the end of the day, you could say, oh boy, if they do something and people don't really like how it's turned out, you're like, oh, Void Rivals was a possible future of the Energon universe that we were playing with. And there's ways to get out of it. But
well, there's also,
I agree with you.
I feel like one commonality that both Void, like a lot of these Energon books have, is there are events from the past which have shaped the events of now, right? And like there's still those
Right.
flashbacks to the past, or at least references to like what happened. So I think it would be dope if they could have that going on with Void, like where their past is the Transformers
Sync it.
past. You know what I mean? Yeah. And their now is the Transformers now. So like, some of their interactions with the Transformers, and the Transformers like a day or two later are going, I don't know. I think that could be cool and an interesting way to take it. But I don't know. That's a good question. As far as like the specific timeline, because it's one thing you definitely wonder with the Transformers showing up in the books.
Yeah. I would like to see more secret. I mean, admittedly, I'm not reading too many other books of Energon right now besides Transformers and Void Rivals on a regular basis. But I was gonna say I'd like to see more connectivity between the titles, because I thought it was gonna be like an ultimate universe setup, like OG Ultimate Universe, where it's like everything kind of played off into the next book or something, or bled into the next title. There's hints of that, but like you said, I like to see more of, maybe once we find out the timeline, like a Transformers could have a tie-in event with Void Rivals. I mean, they could still do that without them taking place in the same timeline. But I get what you mean. I'd like to see more bleed over from these books.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so this one we pick up like our poor girl Solila just got impaled, if we all remember the last issue, by Proximus, the half man, half machine Terminator type dude that they've sent to hunt these two down and execute, because they know too much. They simply know too much about the secrets of these two kingdoms, these universes, and at least some glimpse of the truth behind it all, right? And so they sent their ultimate weapon after them, and he did his job more or less. She's impaled. Like that's how he opened up. And like it's not looking good for her. Did you expect like this to happen? I did not expect this like crazy simple remedy. She retracts her spear. So I'm like, is it like inside of her basically? She retracts her spear, and like as long as it stays compact, it will
plug the hole.
Seemed like it seemed feasible medically, like as crazy as it sounds.
Yeah,
it'll keep the hole plugged, and bleeding will be minimal, so she can at least like move around and survive for a little bit. And so that's what she does. And it's like she's literally sticking out of the ground on the spear. She retracts it, like falls to the ground, and she's got this thing sticking out of her. So Homegirl is a fucking badass, dude. She is a piece of work, I gotta say. Not too many people I know who would react like that to that situation. She's a beast. What do you think of like this little Skuxloid interlude here, bro? I didn't really know where we were going with this, but Homeboy comes home, basically greets his family who's not there. He's like, "Oh yeah, I always forget," and then he's sitting there lonely in his home. What did you make of that? Like, because I don't remember from any past issues his family getting eliminated or wiped out or anything. Like, so do you think that's the story they're going to get into more down the way?
I do. This was a good little moment from Kirkman, just because it's like he's kind of been like a background character almost. You could say he was a throwaway character, and he's just kind of like a one-note villain, or bounty hunter or whatever. And so to see this little scene, it adds a layer to him, And I do think that this is like a breadcrumb showing that he's going to have a bigger part to play in the story later on down the line. A very endearing scene, because it shows that a lot they probably previously saw him where he's boisterous and loud and obnoxious. It's kind of like a front, because obviously he's lonely. He's a lonely man. He's hurting. We don't know what's happened to his family. They could be dead. They could have left him for some reason, or they could be taken and being held captive, but obviously he's in a weird spot. So it's like, that's almost a front he's putting on when he's out there doing the bounty hunting shit, So yeah, I actually really did like this scene, because I was like, oh shit, we're back on this dude, small, quick, and effective.
Well said, bro. This is like another thing, like I mentioned earlier, like I feel like it's like Brian K. Vaughan saga level storytelling, where it makes you really endeared and like invested in these like small, like kind of side quest characters, but like who all the same have these like quirky personality traits, and I don't know, just like weird things that like kind of draw you to them. And I think this guy is definitely one of those. Ever since we got like that early variant, like I think it was like a third printing, and I'm like, oh, this guy's getting like a cover. It's like, all right. And I think we were both talking about it, like, you know, oh, like this guy's definitely got they got a story to tell with this guy, and I love this. Like, and I definitely think it's some horrific, like they're holding his family hostage or some horrific reality behind the situation. But again, dude, fantastic artwork by Dave Felici. You know,
Bro,
just been so
it's
solid one issue to the next. So shout out to him, man.
that
Dude
this is
hasn't missed a
probably
beat.
there's a lot of books that come out that are very consistent, but you know, I got to give it to, like you said, the artist, man. He's not missed one issue. Even I think it was like an issue or two. It was this when we covered it with John, and it was kind of like them coming back, and it was very like
Yep.
catching people up. You know, the art was still fan. He doesn't miss with the art. You know, he's always delivering on the art. You know, so shout out to
Yeah,
him.
that was like I think issue 7 was some of the best. That's when we met Proximus, and like those
Yep.
facial close-ups that he was doing in that issue were like, yeah, he definitely came back with a vengeance. Like just another callback to what we were talking about earlier with like letting a book breathe, giving an artist time. And that one was only a couple months. That was like 2 or 3 months, I think, if not less than that.
Yeah, I think
They ended I think it was like 2 months, yeah. And they ended on 2 or 3, yeah, three tops, right? Like it couldn't have been more than 3.
yeah, 3.
Because it was like I think it was Christmas time into the beginning of the year. They stopped at 6 and then picked up on 7, and it was like they hardly missed a beat. So there's another example of a book that benefited from just waiting, man. And like you can't replace it. Like, can you imagine another dude's aesthetic or character designs? Like, dude has design / drawn every corner of this universe. Like, put another artist on that for like a measly 2 issues and just drag it through the dirt. Oh man, like, and as the artists who put all that like TLC behind creating these type of worlds or these new titles, like that's just got to be brutal, man. You know what I mean? Like,
See, you know what?
or like Nick Klein, you're reinvigorating like the Hulk book. You know what I mean? And it's like you got all that momentum, and then you see what people are saying about those issues. You're not there, and it's like, ugh. Sorry, I don't.
I'm sure every. No, you're good. No, it's bro. We love our comics.
Talking about Incredible Hulk.
I don't know this guy's work pace, but it's like, you know, when we were discussing earlier about, it's like they got to hit events, so it's like that's why we get fill-in artists. It's like when I see them doing it over on indie comics, you know, the same artist has been doing this. Why? What's the excuse for someone like Chichetto? You know, like Chichetto, you can't give him like a month. I mean, I get it. You still need that filling time, but still, I just feel like that's such a cop out for them to switch in with some of the artists.
I mean, you look at both, and both the Ultimate Spidey and Black Panther books are hitting the same problem at the same time. It's like y'all should have done better with that, and had your first arc, your 5 or 6 issue arc in the can, like even like. Then you got your good solid first trade you can sell people on, even if the second story starts with like a different artist and it's like something different. You know what I mean? You got that one compact story, that good jumping off point. Yeah, exactly. Like I just don't understand why that's not a better business decision than cutting that in half with like somebody on 3 issues and you're not going to see him again until like issue 8. For what?
I agree.
All right, so our boy Darak is going to do the Lord's work, and he throws Solila over his shoulder, and he's going to carry her. He's going to walk. You know, he's looking for an old landmark of his, and he finally finds it. You know, back when he was desperate, he hasn't been there since then, right? And then we get Springer. Springer shows up and transforms. I love this with Android. You know, when the thing what is this that when the thing you saw here was a large robot. Was the thing you saw here a large robotic being capable of shifting between different forms, just like the one we saw on that desolate planetoid where we first encountered Soul? So, like, I love Handroid. One of my favorite parts of this comic is Handroid and Derek's relationship and the humor between it. All right, so bro, do you know anything? All right, go ahead. Yeah.
Remember, no, I was just gonna say it's coming up, but there's a little line of dialogue where Springer's talking. He's like, "Oh, that's your hand talking." I was getting confused. Like, I got two people talking to me, bro.
Yeah. So, dude, at least once an issue,
well
Handroid makes me like crack a smile, if not laugh out loud. Like, so shout out. That's great writing. All right, let me ask you this, Link. Do you know who the hell this guy was? Do you have any idea? All right, let me just.
So in the dark,
I had to look it up myself so let me read it for the people out here. This is Springer, right? Springer's from the G1 version of Transformers. And I tried to get my boy Fable on here tonight to help give us a little history lesson, a little educational lecture, but unfortunately he couldn't make it. Fable, we love you, bro. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, all right. So Springer is the archetypical action hero, great in a fight, unselfconsciously brave, confident, and always ready with a deadpan, sarcastic quip to lighten the moment. Someone you can depend on to ride in, save the day, and be smug about it. Though his easy self-confidence is one of his most notable features, actually being responsible for others weighs heavily upon his otherwise jocular personality. Nonetheless, Springer ascended to lead the Wreckers. He has twice been named as Rodimus Prime's successor to take the matrix of leadership and lead the Autobots, though neither one actually came to pass. Springer combines the thrusting power of his legs with his retro thrusters to move rapidly through the battlefield, leaping tall structures in a single bound. So although he's quite speedy, he is not faster than a speeding bullet. One of his famous quotes is, "I've got better things to do tonight than die," from Autobot City, Transformers the movie. So yeah, that's our quick little bio on Springer. I had no idea. I had to look it up myself. So
yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, Fable would have been perfect. I reached out, but the homie couldn't make it. So y'all make sure you send Fable a message on at One Collection Down on Instagram, and y'all make sure you tell him you love him. You could use it definitely. So yeah, what were your thoughts on Springer? Like I loved his like sarcastic quips though. Like all that fit the bill to the T. I feel like I loved the battle with Proximus that we'll get into a little bit here. But again, I had to look it up. But did you enjoy this part of the comic, bro? This second half with Springer?
Yes. Yeah, I thought Springer was cool. I liked his laid back bravado. That he's I could spot the cockiness. I thought that was funny. That was in the character bio you just read, because I was like, all right, my man's kind of feeling himself, even though he's getting pieced up by a smaller being than himself. But he was cool. Yeah, he was he just kind of like, yo, oh, I got supplies, but I don't know if they're gonna help you. I thought you were a robot, homie. Like he was a cool laid back character. So yeah, I thought he was cool.
Hell yeah. But yeah, he wakes up at these two arrival. He notices that Solila is hurt bad, and that like he doesn't know necessarily what he can do for her, but before they can really do anything, Proximus shows back up again with these like, what are these, like artillery shells / arrows like he's got, bro? These things just come screaming in from the void. Yeah. Zee! He knows what time it is.
Fucking, what's his name's Guardians Sandu?
Hell yeah. The Ravagers or whatever the hell it is. What is it called? Yeah, oh yeah, bro.
But that's what this
yeah, absolutely. But I love the scrap between these two. That was unwise. Bro is giving him the business too, like with this kinetic bow and I guess the kinetic bow and arrow he's got. Like, is that how you describe his weapon of choice? Proximus?
Do you remember Moonstar, X-Men, or Danny, when she, Danny. I don't know if she does it too much now, but her little psychic bow she would create sometimes and shit. It gives me those vibes.
Hell yeah.
But kinetic, I like that. I like kinetic. That's actually kind of a cool idea for. I'm thinking that like if someone just had like a technological like I don't know what you call it, the shaft for a bow. But then they just shot like energy arrows out of it and shit.
Yeah.
Pretty damn cool.
Right. Yeah, I love this exchange. Your size does not intimidate me from Proximus. Funny, the same. So Springer. But yeah, he tries to drop the sword on Bro, and Bro is you know, he's holding him back with the bow, and I love that. Like, how? Seriously, how? He's asking him, right?
Adamantium, like, son.
You see Proximus right there with the bow, like literally holding his sword back, and then he lets him drive it into this. I love this, like this scene right here. This reminded me of Donny Cates' Hulk had a moment like this where the Berserker Hulk that he kept in like the rage room in his mind was fighting Ultimate Wolverine, and it was like a giant Ultimate Wolverine, right? And because it was like this kind of fantasy like battleground, and giant Ultimate Wolverine like stuck his claws into the ground. Hulk used that to like dig one of them out, like out of his glove, and use it to like stab him in the chest. Like this deftness and movement right here, like reminded me of that. I love how he directs his sword into the sand and like uses it kind of being stuck to like jump up on it, and as he's doing so, like fire the arrows at him, right? And he's just giving Bro hell. Like he is giving Bro the business. Yeah. For an average man, you know, who we think is like a Terminator level, like Bro is able to you know, withstand like the downstroke of a sword from a full-on Transformer Autobot, like and you know, make his life hell with these kinetic arrows. All right, so I tried to find out like who these guys were here at the end. Anyway, as these two battle on, we don't really know what the final. Sorry, I don't mean to abandon the storyline. As these two battle on, we don't really know what happens to the two. But Solila pulls out this key that she was entrusted with by these like. Wasn't this like that weird covenant that she's a part of? That sisterhood that gave her that. I felt like that's what that thing is. That green key she pulls out there at the bottom of the page.
It could be. I thought someone in issue 7, when those people were getting her through the city or whatever, I thought they gave her something, but I wasn't quite sure, to be honest. So it could be that sisterhood, kind of like the Bene Gesserit. She's on a mission.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I don't know who the like I forget who all the Transformer gods are, right? But like. Homeboy reports back that what's his name, the Frolics or what, the Skuxoid, who you know that we saw earlier, the one who was you know mourning his family that was not there, turned him on to something interesting from like I guess like the ancient Zertonia or whatever. Or ancient Cybertron. Oh, yeah. So what do you think? Do you think the word was Cybertron or Zertonia here that got him electrocuted? Because he says, you know, he uncovered something that we haven't seen since ancient Cybertron. This Zertonia that the Skuxoid brought, you know, has interesting properties or whatever, and he gets zapped right here. So do you think it was like Cybertron? I guess it was the Zertonia, right?
Yeah, I took it as Zertonia because I think he said it like, or he like enunciated it a little bit a second time, and that they fried his ass. Because I think they're from Cybertron, so I don't know if they're. I'm taking a stab in the dark. I know these guys were in the movie, but I'm not entirely, you know, the original movie, the cartoon, but I'm not entirely sure like what their position is. But if they're from Cybertron, I don't, you know, I would think that they'd want to get back to like Cybertron or something like that, you know?
Yeah, I don't know.
I took it as Zertonia.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. But like you said, you know, saying that name is forbidden as our boy hits the floor, and that's the end of the comic. So, you know, we'll see where we're headed. I don't. Proximus is definitely not down for the count. He's still battling Springer, and
Not at all.
Solila is basically on her. She's about to die. So Solila, she needs some urgent medical attention, or she's gonna pass real soon.
Wonder how-
All right, so let's. I don't want to real quick cover it, but man, Rook Exodus. I had to do 1 and 2. I know we were a little late to the party getting to issue 1, but Jeff Johns, Jason Fabok, who's it? Is it Gary Anderson or Brad Anderson on colors? But incredible Brad, yeah, incredible little story that they got going on here. I love the world they're building. This is the basic synopsis going into issue 1. A struggling farmer from Earth was given a second chance on the planet Exodus, a terraformed world where every aspect of nature is controlled by humanity. So they have these what they call, I think, world engines, which control the weather, control humanity, and they assign these different wardens control over different animal populations. Including the winged scavengers who plagued his crops. Now called Rook, the farmer became one of the wardens, those who wear helmets, like I was just saying, capable of commanding animal species. So, Rook commands the birds. We have others who command wolves, hogs/pigs, bears. We'll get into all that, but have a bunch of different wardens out there who control different animal species. But eventually the world engine on this this alien planet failed. The power of the wardens fell into the wrong hands. Not everybody who was trained to be a warden had control of one of these helmets where they could control these species. And anybody who had money basically got the hell up out of there. Jumped up on a rocket and left this world that was a failed experiment before it destroyed itself. But Rook, along with a few other animal wardens, has stayed back. A lot of the people that have stayed back are employees of the corporation. They were promised, a return by this corporation. They come back in a year or two for them. I think it's been like 2 years so far. Nobody showed up.
Yep.
And so every now and then we start off issue 1 with as the last ship of the paying population boarded, the corporation said they come back for us, the hired help. That was 2 years ago. And there's been no sign of anyone, no communication, nothing flying down from the sky to rescue us. There's usually only things flying up, and there's like these jalopies, these half-made rockets with, the remnants of the working population on this doomed planet who are trying to get out of there. And for every, one ship that makes it, there's 50 others that don't. And so for these ships that crash, those who are trying to make it go to these crash sites to try to salvage whatever parts they can and building their own spaceship to try to get the hell up off this lousy planet. But yeah, that's the general gist of the thing. I just want to say I think I'm a huge fan of Fabok from Three Jokers. That story wasn't necessarily for me all the way through, but I thought his artwork was undeniable. Every last line of it. I thought he was so consistent and amazing throughout all 3 issues of that. So when I saw this, like he was going to be on one of these Ghost Machine projects with Johns, I definitely wanted to check it out. And 2 issues in, man, some of these epic images we're about to get to have been incredible. I just think it's been such a cool world to explore and get to know.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I'm so happy we got into it. Link, have you enjoyed these 2 before we break it down?
Oh yeah, I was quite surprised. I've been meaning to check these out. So when you suggested these for the re-list, I was like, oh hell yeah, man! Give me a reason to stay on top of it. But I absolutely these station. But no, I thought they did a phenomenal job. Right out the gate with issue 1, I think they like lay out the rules of this world pretty thoroughly. And they've got interesting concepts from the jump. Like, I think you don't learn until like halfway to like issue 1 that there's other people out there with helmets, I guess. Because when I first read this, I was like, oh shit, he's just a dude that can control birds. That's cool, But then I'm like, oh, there's other wardens. They control different animals, and yeah, so it was a very interesting book. A lot of potential. Very cool.
Oh yeah, man. Anyway, like I said, like we get started at the this first like rocket crash site. And I just love the design on Rook here. Like I love this is one thing I think Fabok does so well. Like we get these great introductory like full page displays of these characters, man. You know what I mean? That's like on some old John Byrne type shit. You know what I mean? Give people a page they can really grab onto and get invested in early on. Like this type of artwork is undeniable. And like, to find it in the first 5-6 pages is fantastic. But I love the design on the helmet. Did you like the helmet and the character designs which with each of these and the animal and the corresponding animals? I thought they were great.
Yeah, I thought it was cool, like the designs of each one's helmet kind of, like you said, fit with their corresponding animal. Like the Rook's is very agile, like evoking like a beak, very,
Hell yeah.
The fucking the swine. We'll get to him, but there's another warden in here we'll get to. But his shit, it was fitting. If they all fit their wardens. But yeah, I thought very. I was shocked, to be honest. By I was like, okay, they really kind of thought out a lot of details for this world. You get a lot in just issue one alone.
You do,
really
yeah,
cool.
that's so true. Like breaking down, like creating the slides for this issue, I was like, man, this is really thorough and comprehensive. Like they gave us a lot in this first issue, but I love how like you get little glimpses of the character. Like here, when there's like this lone male survivor from this crash, right? And he's like, "Don't let them burn." And he gives him this pamphlet of papers, which he looks through later and is kind of like pictures of his family and who he is, and he's wondering if his family's still on the planet, and I don't know, just like little glimpses like that, like give you so much depth to this world we're building. But like you said, when the engine went offline, the predators started to grow larger. So like there's been this like they had control and balance over this planet, but now that's since like tipped kind of like way out of scale, and a lot of these animals are growing to be humongous sizes, and some of these wardens have control of some of these species and some barely have control, and Rook here feels like he has control but he's losing some, so I don't know, it's curious. But yeah, he has to constantly like reset his helmet to keep the connection strong, as does his buddy, like you said, Swine. But yeah, I love this attack here. Like, he gets attacked by a bear, and he commands his birds to swarm the bear. Eventually they do. Again, dude, Fabok does not miss with the. Anytime you see a bear show up in this book, it's about to be some fucking seriously amazing artwork. But yeah, the birds peck his eye out, right, and put him on the run. I just love that little exchange. And he's talking about how he can feel him through the helmet, and there's all these great moments throughout where he can feel the birds. It's like fight or flight instinct. They don't care about anything but themselves and getting away alive. And he also feels their hunger and when they want to eat. It's really fascinating. Like this disjointed yet seriously strong connection he has with the animal, and how he kind of has to like go home back to this abandoned city every night and kind of drink it off, as we'll see right here.
That was when he was describing like the population of the city, and then he was like, now population now just one, soon to be none. I was like, that's dark. That's dark.
And bro's like, yeah, we did save the best for last. Sorry, bro. I don't know, man. We had a great first half of the show with Verno, so that's probably the best. But they need to eat. Can you imagine how much the bear, dude? That's what I'm saying. We're gonna get to we'll get to the bear man, but yeah, I just love this view of this dystopian city. Like Fabok has so many of these incredible, either one page or wide or double page shots of the city, or
does not skimp
things going on. But bro is literally going through the apartments and marking them off with a red X if he's taking a liquor bottle up out of
been here. This one's dry.
Yeah. I can respect that though. I can respect that. I feel like I'd be the same way. It reminds me, I'm not just trying to get too dark, man, but like during Katrina, dude, they used to mark the houses like the same way with the like that red X and like different corners of the X like meant different things. Like so it was like a very eerie, weird dystopian type of feeling that felt like very real to me. I thought that was a unique part of the storytelling. And just this guy all alone, man. Can you imagine, like, I don't know, the demon's like, is he human? Is he not? Like, he's shared his brain with birds for how long? It's like, I wonder what a conversation like this guy would be like if you were just a normal human being and just walked up to him and tried to talk with him. I wonder how that would go. But yeah, so he sets out the next morning. We finally meet his homie who he's trying to rendezvous with the day before, but he was out of touch. Swine, dude, how great his swines look, man. Right?
Fucking badass, bro. I love it. I love how he like added the tusks to his helmet. It looks like he like welded them on there and shit. But the design is like the pig face, so I thought that was. And he was calling one of his the boars Pumbaa. I thought that was fucking. I loved it.
Oh yeah,
cool little,
absolutely. Cool. Yeah, and like you said, he's having trouble with his helmet, and he's having to reboot it all the time. He tells Rook the same thing. What were you saying, bro?
You ever seen Princess Mononoke? Okay. The boars were giving me Princess. It's this Studio Ghibli film, Hayao Miyazaki, but there was like these crazy ass giant boar in that cartoon, and that's what this reminded me of, like the giant animals looking all crazy and evil and morphed out. It was fun. It was fun.
Yeah,
man. Man, I was gonna one more random tangent. My bad.
Go ahead.
But
You're
like
good.
the detail he puts into this book, bro, like it pisses you off other artists, because it's like if this guy can get it done, it seems like the Rook's been on a monthly book so far, and Fab puts in so much detail in every page, like you said, whether it's like giant cityscapes, vacant city, dystopian cityscapes, or like large behemoth animals with crazy detail. Whether it be apartment doors that he's just putting X's on, there's so much detail. Right? Look at that detail in the fucking mask,
dude,
bro.
it's crazy. And this is like a blown up panel, man. Like these are all blown up. A lot of these guys would mail half of these lines in. You know what I mean? Like, just look at the boar. Look at the detail on the boar and all his hair and his like. It's fantastic, dude. It's really a treat. It's one of those books you want to have physically own in front of you and just be able to leave through because it's the artwork's that great. Yeah, we get a cool little throwback here to Rook on Earth making a scarecrow. Yeah, and then seeing all the Better World ships and all that, and realizing that the world's going to hell and a lot, everybody's leaving. Dad doesn't want to leave. We're not going to run and cower. And then 15 years later, the farm is burning up. Better World is already on site saying it's arson. They're going to offer him a deal for it, which includes like getting off this planet. And he takes it, man. You know what I mean? And the guy tells him, your dad burning down this farm, which he didn't do. Your dad burning down this farm may have been like his dying gift to you or whatever. And he's like, oh, also sorry for your loss. Like, so dude's feeling definitely conflicted. Like you can definitely understand his desire to return to Earth and like his feeling that like his regret that he kind of gave up on it too early and mailed it in and took the easy way out. So I can understand that's kind of where Rook's at on Exodus and why he wants to get out, because on Earth there's a chance, whereas really everybody else he encounters on this planet wants to stay there. So that was a cool little bit of background and understanding his motives and where he's coming from. But yeah, dude, rough end here to issue 1.
Good old swine, bro.
Our boy is trying to set up camp. Like you said, Pumbaa go. He's trying to get Pumbaa to get the hell out of the way. Pumbaa, run, Pumbaa.
Like,
it's the attack of the giant fucking killer bears, dude. I turned this page, I was like, yo, and this is a double page spread. I was like, are you? And this is the end of issue 1. I was like, bro is on some other shit, and it doesn't end there. Like, this is the next page. You get Ursa. You know, don't try and move. Your spine's been broken and your skull's been crushed. And like our first look at Ursa, like, this is one bad dude, but man, this grizzly scene is unreal, dude. There's like, you can't see it all, but there's hogs being thrown up in the air behind them, and the top of this panel I couldn't include, but it's fantastic, man. Just such great artwork, dude.
Yeah.
Like I said, anytime the bears show up in this book, it's next level shit.
Hell's going down, bro. Yeah, just the man.
It's like,
and those boards are pretty damn big. So when you see these motherfuckers getting tossed,
because it's like, we start off with Rook, who's got the birds, and then you meet the homie Swine. You're like, all right, he's got the boards. Then you meet like, oh shit, like, who's gonna step up? Who's gonna step up to this dude? Like, this dude is a problem. Ursa with the bears, man. Ursa with the U. Don't forget the name. All right, so let's real quick go through the issue 2. Let me get to the comments, see if anybody said they need to eat. Can you imagine how much that bear has to eat? Man, I can't even imagine the bear's hunger in that boy's head. But then again, we'll find out some things about him. He said Ghost Machine is putting out the most comic booky comics every month. Never expected to enjoy them as much as I do. Man, it's been a great relaunch, I gotta say. They've done a fantastic job. I feel like them, I would put Skybound and Energon number 1. I would put them number 2, and I would put Rick Remender's Giant Generator with Sacrificers and Holy Roller, and a couple of those titles have been fantastic. So yeah, it's been an exciting year for independent houses and subsidiaries, but I'm here for it. All right, yeah, Rook 2, man. What did you think of Direwolf? Obviously, these two have a history together, right?
Yeah, bro. I let she takes no shit. She just shows no fear. There's a scene where it's like towards the end where it's like, like, there's clearly nothing you can do here, and she's like still not, her first instinct is she's just always cool. She reminds me of like John McClane type shit, like she thinks better under pressure. Just cool, calm, collected. I thought she was a very interesting character.
Oh yeah. She's badass, dude. Yeah, so I love how this issue starts off. Like, Homeboy's trying to find more parts from a salvage. We get this, I love this giant turtle shadow under the water as he's kind of like hovering above it, trying to find this part. Boom, dude. Fabix art again kills it with this giant turtle attack. Takes him underwater. He swims down, gets the part off the bottom of the water floor, and then like gets up out of the water, and this turtle's still chasing him, right? He calls his vehicle in and kind of like smacks, I guess, like knocks the turtle unconscious / kills him, it looks like. But yeah, dude, incredible shot here. It definitely knocked him out.
Because I thought this shot right here, I thought he was knocked out. But then at the end, when he's walking away, he was like, he says something about the birds get what they want or something too.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I was like, damn, he's either dead. Like, damn, he killed him. That's crazy.
They ate good.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, good. Like, yeah, the birds get what they want. Yeah. Oh yeah. Get the giant turtle, but like, again, killer artwork from Faybuck. Anyway, Rook goes back home. Direwolf's there waiting for him. And we kind of get her background. Like, she was the lead warden. She trained all these other wardens there. A corporate girl through and through. They had a relationship at one point, but those things were forbidden by the corporation, and she's a corporate girl. So, and he's telling her that, like, they built this rocket, him and Swine together, to get out of here. Swine helped him find the parts with the pigs. She's still, unfortunately, Direwolf's still insistent that better world is coming back for them, right? That they're gonna send her some type of rescue team. She's a little delusional in that way. I feel like Rook is only the one who's got it like a realistical hold on like what is going on here. Swine seemed like, oh, I'm staying here. Swine seemed a little bit attached to the animals. Direwolf seems a little bit too attached to the job and to the corporation. Like, you know what I mean? Like Rook's like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? We need to get up on this planet, bro.
No, she keeps telling like Rook, like we can turn this around. He's like, have you looked at the situation, bro? Like we're a little too far gone. Like because there's one scene where he was like, he walks up on like a river and he's like, there was water here 2 days ago, and then when he comes back to it's fucking dry. So if you got whole rivers or ponds drying up in 2 days, that's it's escalating pretty quickly, and I'm not gonna stick around.
And the predators are getting that big.
Yeah, no, Yeah.
Chill said, hold up, wait, what the heck killed a turtle? All right, Chill, you played Halo before, right, bro? You remember the warthogs in Halo? It's basically like a warthog, right? And it's this guy's warthog. He kind of dialed it up to like this turtle was chasing him on the beach. He dialed it up to ramp off this piece of hunk of metal or whatever and take out this turtle for him. So yeah. It's like a warthog. He got his warthog to kill this turtle / incapacitate it. Anyway, yeah, direwolf's there, but before they can really get into it too long, Ursol shows up. He's been tracking them. He says he offers, he establishes his connection with the Barons, tell them to kill them or whatever. He tells he curiously tells direwolf like over the intercom, it's not too late to come and join me. And Rook's like, what? What's that about? So we don't get the full story on that. We don't really know who this guy is. We do get a little, of course, he bros up our boys Rocket. I love that shot right there. That he's worked so hard on, man. Got all these fucking different parts for her. Like him and his boy built it together. It's like a goddamn arts and crafts project. You know what I mean? Like it's a treehouse or something like that. Bro just blew up the treehouse. And it's done. Like that's his ticket off the planet. Epic art again by Fabric.
I know. I was gonna say. I know we keep praising Fabric, bro, but he deserves it, bro. Like you get multiple shots like this.
It's so good. Like there's so much great like awe-inspiring art, man. And like guys, I'm breaking down. Like this is the bottom of a page right here. This is the very bottom panel of a page, and it's like not even. This is like one fifth of the page. Like guys, he's got so much incredible artwork packed in all of these pages. So yeah, I highly recommend this one. We're only 2 issues in. If you're not into the Ghost Machine world, you need not be scared. This is kind of like an own independent universe. You just read issue 1 and you're there. But yeah. He said big ass turtles in swamps are never a good thing. I've seen the never in this story. Amen, brother. Yeah, you got me, bro. Hell yeah. We're glad the Halo reference worked. Oh yeah. All right, so his rocket's destroyed. He's bitter as shit. She's like, I'm sorry about your rocket. He's like, you're full of shit. You're not sorry. But I'll offer you revenge. You want to help me get revenge on the dude who killed your buddy and destroyed your rocket? He's like, yeah, I'm down for that. So that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna team up. And she makes this interesting little revelation about Ursula here at the end. He's not an original warden. He's somebody who got the helmet otherwise, and he's not a human being either. He's had enhancements of all types. So like, what does she call it? Genetic alterations. So dude is like a half man, half machine. And he's got like the killer grizzly helmet. Like he's a problem to be reckoned with. Obviously, he's got his own team of wardens he's subjugated or other killers for him. I love the like saw axe thing he wields. His look is just so gangster, dude. I love the skull hanging from the belt. Bro looks like he's built for the madness. You know what I mean?
If you for any of my Overwatch fans out there, he reminds me of Reinhardt mixed with like fucking like he's like a Mad Max version of Reinhardt, Yo, did you check out Noctura? Did you ever read Noctura?
No, I heard so many great things about it, but I never got to it, bro.
I only read the first arc, but the vehicles and everything, and them chasing after him, I was like, hopefully it's not gonna be like a road trip book. Like, I'm not that I don't mind, but I was like, it's feeling like Noctura, but I'm here for it either way. That was just a random thing I connected to. I was like, it's kind of reminding me of Noctura with the whole chasing them because they need to get something, a certain thing. I don't know, but
No. Yeah, I hear you.
so I was blown away. I
Yeah.
was curious to check it out, but I don't know. I don't. Maybe it's because I didn't have any expectations that it was such a pleasant surprise. But like I think Eve said it great. It's so comic booky. You know, this
It is.
why I love comics. So,
Yeah.
well done to Ibach and Johns and company.
Yeah. Like I feel like for the one, you know, a lot of the other Ghost Machine stuff has been Geiger and things in Junkyard. Well, not Junkyard Joe yet, but Geiger and Redcoat and, you know, properties / characters they've already established. For this one to be like the new one to the scene, like this one has been a home run so far, man. I can't wait to see where it goes. It's been so solid. So yeah, shout out to them. Very well crafted story and awesome world building. Can't wait to see where it goes.
Sure.
Chill said, you got to visit New Orleans, man. And he said, I'll visit
What,
for
do
the
they eat turtles or
beignets, but
something?
I ain't messing with turtles. Turtle soup? I don't know. Chill, are you from New Orleans, bro? Let me find out. We were just talking about my experiences post Katrina a couple shows ago, bro. Spent time down in Gulfport, Mississippi, helping folks rebuild. So, station, bro, if you're from the Big Easy,
Bro,
what a beautiful,
so
beautiful, beautiful place.
Do you know when do you know when New Orleans is supposed to be underwater?
I don't.
Isn't that like something?
I don't. Rough transition right there, bro. I gotta say, rough transition. We need to work. Hey, bro. By the way, quick like question. When's New Orleans not supposed to exist anymore? I was just like, I forgot.
No,
Since we're celebrating that wonderful city, when's it gonna be like a fucking Atlantis? I forgot.
No, I always wanted to go to Mardi Gras. That's why I was gonna ask. I was like, I gotta make sure I fit in the Mardi Gras trip before that happens.
Get your ass down there, bro. Miami, all that. It's about to be bye. Yeah. Bobby said it's already below sea level. It really is. Lake Pontchartrain, bro. Like, get your ass down there. On Gulf Coast. Gulf Coast feels right for you, Chill. I spent many a night down on the Florida, Alabama line, bro. Man, thank y'all for coming through tonight. I think that's all we got for you. Lynk, anything you want to say to the people before we get out of here and play this banging ass intro one more time?
You guys are the best.
Great chat tonight. Chat was so lively. Appreciate y'all, honestly. Chill, good to see you again. Bobby, thanks for stopping through. Inja, love y'all, man. Y'all make the show what it is, so we really appreciate y'all. If you kept catching it on the rewind, try to catch us live Wednesday night, 9:30. If not, we love you and appreciate y'all all the same. We hope you get something out of this this little show of ours. But until then, we'll see you next Wednesday, 9:30 p.m. on the Dr. Dooms Fan Club station, y'all.